Hello everyone, this is Bartleby19. Today we're going to be mostly working on just kind of details and stuff needs to be completed on the building to house the storage system. So this is going to be just probably a bit of fiddling with walls, trying to place a bunch of things, fill in the gaps. There'll be a few other things. Probably going to move the portal up to the top and put in a water elevator so it's easy to access. Just decoration, quality of life things. Anyway, so I think just to get started, I'll work on the water elevators real quick. It shouldn't take too long. So I've got one for the spire already, and I'm kind of tempted to use just, like the panes of glass all around, because that's kind of nice looking. And I kind of like the aesthetic of this. The problem is that I also want to have a down elevator, or like a drop chute for water, and to make sure the player is aligned properly. I mean, you can kind of get away with that at some point further down the drop, but just given the limited drop there, it's going to be a lot safer to have full blocks all the way up and down for that. And so then once I have full blocks for the drop chute, I kind of need full blocks for the upwards elevator as well. So that's what we're going to be doing for a little while here. Just want to go back. Let's see. I think we might need that much. Probably not quite as much for the full enclosure. Just going to go all the way around. Then we open the So I have a neat trick for doing just the core 4. If you grab scaffolding, what you can do is like kind of see, there, okay. Pick a direction, and then if you click on this block, then click on that one, places behind you. That one places behind you, and then that one places there, so they can go, and get surrounded by blocks that way. So if that's all you need to do, just because you're doing like a basic water chute, you have scaffolding, that's kind of a nice trick to do. Makes building like a utilitarian chute quite fast, but here, because we're doing the full enclosure, just mainly for aesthetics. We're just gonna do this. Okay. Alright, so here. Have to look outside and see how much of an impact that has. Might need to do something else there. Maybe we can switch to panes at that point, just to not have the granite wall. Peek out. And that's fine. Maybe look at that later on if it still bothers me, but right now it doesn't look very noticeable. All right. Okay. All right, and now the eternal question. Doors or signs? This, I think we're just going to have a waterlogged slab. One of these days I need to go and let's see. Aesthetically that fits the best, but I don't know. I kind of feel like cobblestone might be better there, but that's fine. All right, and what does it need anything? This one. It's like I kind of want to put signs there just so it's even, but we'll see. All right, so the main wood we have outside is bamboo, so let's do bamboo signs for now. Do signs rather than doors just for hitbox purposes. Signs have no hitbox. Doors do, so an open door is gonna kind of get in the way of the player, at least a little bit sometimes. So let's do signs here for that reason, and there's absolutely no risk of drowning on a column that short. So we'll just use kelp and not waste the bone meal and get more kelp. More kelp. Oh, I don't have a kelp farm. That's one of the things I don't actually have, but of course the reason for that being that I don't need a kelp farm because I don't really have anything to use to do with the kelp at this point. I really need it so far. But I probably should get one just for something like stockpile dried kelp blocks. I actually think I have quite a few dried kelp blocks already from earlier. Done with that. Yeah, I've got like almost a stack. Do I have? No, I don't. It's not actually all that much. Oh, I need to double check that. Right. Air box. Some soul sand. And probably should actually just turn off the haste beacon. But Drop shoot's good. Elevator's good. Do I want to do that? I think I do. So a little trick I have. Someone else probably did it first because Minecraft's a game that's been in a long time. But if you just waterlog the... you fix that. Alright, if you waterlog the scaffolding... There we get rid of all the glass. Yeah, it means all right, I have to make a hard decision here. I kind of like tucking it into the base of the column, but if I'm going to get cut on that edge, that's going to annoy me over the long term. So I might just need to move, of course I move everything out by just one block, and that's going to have a much bigger impact on that granite wall. It needs to be like 2 blocks in. If it's 2 blocks in, I don't have this to hide the extra piece of scaffolding. I need to make that trick work. Decisions. I think what I will do instead is, at the cost of making the alignment a little less convenient, I think I'll get a bamboo trapdoor. Because that's the wood of choice in this build so far. See how well this works. And it kind of looks like the scaffolding, which is kind of nice symmetry there, but it's different enough so you should be able to tell which one's up and which one's down. But this has a little bit of a hitbox, and so the idea here is that that will kill your momentum, or at least force you to step backwards slightly. Now the downside is that, as you just saw, if I just, run into the drop chute without slowing down, I end up staying on the edge of the trapdoor. I'm going to back up a little bit. But that might be worth it at this point. I'm usually pretty good at getting alignment correct. And of course, the other way to deal with that would be to have like another trapdoor here flipped up so that you would run into that and it'd stop you in the right alignment. But that's gonna be visible past the bottom of this pillar, and I don't want that. So I have to think if there's something I can like sneak in here to prevent me from hitting that edge. Of course, if I did that, then I could actually just use that by itself. We wouldn't need this alignment to still align me, down the chute. But trade-offs. I'll look at that in a bit. I don't remember offhand any blocks that I can, and that's clear, so that's good. They can place on the side like that, but of a partial block especially, I think that's probably not going to happen. So, well, anyways, life is about trade-offs. All right. So the next decision I need to make is how I'm gonna do the connection here between the top and the main part of the complex, or the main part of the building there. So one of the annoyances of having a building, I've spent a long time with just the storage system. Like I literally just built the storage system, the storing system, and just flew directly out of it, which is very convenient for getting around. And now with the building in the way, that's the wrong thing to do. But so like I jump up and fly over in this direction, and then returning back home after doing something somewhere. Before I could just like go straight into the storage system. Now I'm having to like kill speed so I can and then walk before just direct here, and it was kind of nice. But, so I kind of the thing is that the top there is going to remain open, right? So if I have enough altitude when I approach, I'm just going to be able to land in here. And so the question then is, do I close this off, or do I kind of leave it open so I can, if I close it off, of course I can always just, drop in. If I leave it open, there's, options of like flying out directly, or, if I can avoid hitting my head like that too often, flying out. So I'll probably end up having like a pond here so I can crash into it when I'm coming in. I don't want to spend a lot of time weaving back and forth to kill speed before I land. A little bit of spot where there's not glass bugs me a little bit, but trade-offs. I really do like the way that just stops you, bobbing up and down the top of a water elevator is a little bit of a pet peeve of mine. So I really don't want to give that up. I mean, I suppose, well, I can move it at one block and hide it behind that block. Actually, I couldn't even do that because I only have one block there, so I have to do some really creative maneuvering to get that working. Let's see. Actually, well, let's see how much the various systematic trade-offs bother me. I can get rid of the wall problem actually by getting rid of the corner glass blocks there. And, that would work. It would be, just have to see how much things bother me, relatively speaking, whether the weird glass configuration there ends up bothering me more than the little bit of a irregularity in the granite wall. But since I already have like weird glass going on there, it's probably not going to bother me very much to do the weird glass, so let's just do that now. Wait, no, it's not. Never mind. It's already a problem. It's already the way it works now. Is everything just stopping there? Never mind. All right. at this point, we've got only got 2 more stacks in here, so we'll just dump it off. And I think we still have like 3 shulkers of glass, so we're good. We don't need to go villager trading for a while yet. We'll just go through everything else in the storage system for now. And we'll refresh in a second. Once we have decide what we're going to do next. I think next, let's see. Yeah, I think the thing that bothers me right now most is having the portal out here in front. So to move that and figure out a different home for this miscellaneous crap chest and this miscellaneous crap shulker box. It's not really miscellaneous, it's like named things that essentially like the default item filter items, which I probably actually never use. And then, you know, I need to name a mob something. I need to, so it will, you know, not despawn. But I don't have a creative name to do it yet, so. All right. Now the question is where to put this in a way that's on center feels really good in some respects, but yeah, let's do that. Maybe it will give us some inspiration for how we want the rest of the stuff to come together. Let's go a couple blocks in. We have enough obsidian. We'll go classy and do the full portal. And old habits die hard. Yes, I just built water elevators, but no, let's go and fly up here. Although honestly, after shaving off the corners for so long, this feels wrong. Yep, we got good linking, which never had any reason to doubt. Okay. That having been said, being that close to the edge is a little feels a little less than ideal from a rival standpoint. You know, I spend a lot of time or make a lot of trips to that portal, so having that functionally end up in a good spot is kind of important. from that point of view, having it here makes a decent amount of sense, but we'll just align it. We'll just do this for now. I'll probably move it again later. If I shut up here, I could be here, and I'd have at least a second to stop myself before careening off the edge. And yeah, one of these days I'll remember to use the elevator, but I just put in, like, less than 30 minutes ago, like 15 minutes ago. Yeah. Maybe I can solve my drop shoot problems with just not having the drop shoot, which will work fine until I die and don't have my gear, and else the water elevator go up there and like, oh, we don't have a elytra. Jump off the edge. No further flying boots. Oops. Alright. Yeah, I'm going to go with sea lanterns on the top there. Just because I'm walking on them and I don't like the sound of fog lights. But I really should figure out a build I can do that's like mostly light. Oops. Because I have an unreasonable number of sea lanterns and fog lights at the moment. Use the water elevator? No, why would I do that? When I can just break my knees. Habits die hard. Well, hey, at least remember to go up the water elevator. And that's the other thing I could potentially do is, instead of having just the drop chute, I could have the magma block and go down that way. But I just like that because unless you remember to hit shift, you take damage to the bottom. Even if it's not a lot of damage, it annoys me. I mean, like at that point, you may as well just have like a berry bush at the bottom. Alright. I think that's not a sorted banner. So the sorting system is great. It covers pretty much every regular block in the game. But there are certain things that just can't be done. So, like banners, for instance, will stack. The problem is that they don't stack. I mean, you can have any kind of like a, absurd. I think there's like quintillions or quadrillions of combinations of banners and banner patterns, which will all stack separately. Will stack with each other, but will stack separately, from other banners and with the same base color, which is too many to actually reasonably deal with all possibilities in a system like this. I think actually, that size, let's see. You have to run the numbers to figure out if it's even possible within like the generation bounds of Minecraft. Probably it is to have a sorting system that would sort all possible banners. But that would be one of those, absurd. I did something ridiculously, actually, but even then, like, no, you could not actually do it manually. You'd have to construct it using like a world edit, some sort of script, because, outside the millions, we're talking block placements that are unfeasible. Billions were already outside of numbers that you can, like human actions have any hope of performing in a lifetime. And that's, what? Is that 6 orders of magnitude? More than that, so that's just not going to happen. So no. And then the problem then is, even if you did have that constructed for you by, an automated construction system, you try to put a banner in there and, it's like hopper speeds, 2.5 items per second. It's going to take, even with minecarts, 6 or anything's a bit, it's still going to take an unreasonable amount of time to actually arrive. So, yes, I have a hogland farm. Why do you ask? All right. So I think at the top there, I think what we'll do is figure out the edge, and then we'll figure out the supporting wall below it. Although the supporting wall is probably just going to be a big stack of polished granite. So grab pretty much all of our polished granite. We'll grab a couple stacks of regular granite in case we have to convert. Need some stairs. Probably need some slabs. We need some walls. Just a couple more things of granite just in case. And while I'm here, I'll grab a stone cutter real quick. All right. Use that if we need to, if we don't have anything in particular. Okay, so I have good alignment here, or do I care? This wall needs to come forward 2 blocks, I think, which means we're already in a weird position here. Yeah, so this is going to be kind of back a bit. We might actually need to pull this wall all the way up to here to make this all look right. And let's try it and see. I kind of like the spacing here. Like, if I go over, this is kind of the vista for the thumbnail right now. Right, that spacing looks pretty good from this angle. So I kind of don't want to change it, although I think this is, one of those, Yeah, it's like it's 5 blocks, but because of the angle, it looks like it's a little bit closer together there. Now, if I really cared about this angle and I was, almost an architect that worked on these kinds of constructions, that would get nudged over so it looked even though up close you'd see, and if you measured up close, it would be incorrect. But if I was caring about this angle in particular, that would be done. Unfortunately, in Minecraft, that's not a whole block. If I move it over a whole block, it's going to look really bad from everywhere. So, but that, like I said, the spacing for that looks pretty good. I kind of don't want to lose it. But the thing we're going to end up with is that the top portion is going to end with the granite a little before the bottom portion. So this is going to be pushing back. So it could be basically like this building was constructed with a little bit of with this not extending all the way to the front, and then we added on the facade that push all the way forward, which we'll have to try it and see. Yeah, this portion, generally I'm kind of following the Church of San Giorgio Maggiore in Venice to kind of give me guidance in terms of just general design principles, color schemes, and a lot of the elements. But of course, this is a Minecraft, so what looks good in reality is sometimes hard to translate here. You have to make some differences for the environment you're in. So that's kind of the things that I'm going to be doing here is like adjusting how things kind of work together in this build to kind of fit. And so in the original building, there isn't this little kind of patio-ish area. It's solid all the way to the top, and actually the top would be about here. Let's discuss this a little bit. Oops, no big deal. So in the original building, basically, you'd have this angle, and then the peak would be right there, right? There won't be that little kind of patio area. But the flip side is that this whole thing would be taller and wider, because this would actually extend the kind of flanks, would essentially, this would extend all the way down the flanks. And I kind of didn't want that, because that makes this too wide and the detail gets hard to pull off. And it's kind of, this looks really good, but the bigger it is, the worse the detail to space ratio gets. And so it starts looking like not as good at that point. And so and also just, I don't want to do it. I mean, that's just a lot of blocks to place. And the problem there is primarily that corner, which is all over water. And I just didn't want to fill that in. I don't want to do like massive terraforming to the river, because water is, particularly like down below, is hard to deal with in Minecraft. It's just a pain, particularly if you care about making sure you actually have source blocks all the way through. So that I just didn't want to deal with. So I just ended this one short and said, okay, well, I'll just make this, kind of flank up there. The problem with that is then that, then the proportions looked wrong at the top, right? Because I couldn't extend this all the way up to the top without this looking kind of weird. If I, uneven, unbalanced. If I moved this up so it matched up there, this whole section looks too tall and looks weird and unbalanced. So kind of add the patio to try to compensate for, that, add like an extra little element here that the original building doesn't have. And so I think the result's pretty good, but you kind of have a little bit of an effect of like this is an add-on that was tacked on to the front after the fact, which the original church does have a little bit of that kind of a feel, but not really. Like the marble, I don't know if it's marble, it's like a white facade. on the front that is just the front, and then you look at the side and it like ends like a foot in, and then it's like different construction after that. So we kind of replicate that here as well. But we then also have this patio that we extend onto the roof of the original building. Yeah, so we kind of get like a bit of an add-on effect there. So that's what I'm kind of thinking that might work here. And so we don't need to line up where the transition happens from like the patio to the wall below. At least that is the hope, that we can get away with this. Oops. Want the polished. Yeah, I really should get rid of the paste beacon. It's not really helping me here. Let's do that. What do we want? Like jumper regen. Let's see, which is the best way to get down there? Probably the access tunnel. So the sorting system doesn't sort if the chunk's not loaded and can break. The main sorting system actually is pretty resilient, but the item elevators just are, drop elevators are always a problem. Okay, so we were facing that way, is this general direction, I think. Yep, here we go. Okay. Yeah, just do that. All right. Resistance, speed, haste, strength, jump boost. I think jump boost 2 is going to be too much of a... Let's do speed and regen. Alright. Just see if I have a way of... Trying very hard to remember where I came from so I don't spend half an hour of the stream lost in the caverns underneath my own base. Just trying to remember if I actually... I do have... to do that. Yes, I forgot that actually there was a time when I wanted to come down here and use the end portal and not just drop down from the top. And I completely forgot that I had built this ladder all the way down. Don't think I've been on that segment of the ladder in like months, so oops. All right. And we'll see how much the speed messes me up. On one hand, though, it's just like running without holding down control or clicking control, so think we're gonna need more wall. Gonna have to get into that crevice and lay in the smooth stone. Yeah, let's just do that now. I think a lot of the stream's just gonna be me doing things that I've been putting off. Which is good. Let's see. Probably here. Why do I have that block there? I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, probably better off going up from here. Now I can't see it. I think it's around here. There. Okay, that one I will need to rock it up to, but that's not a problem. So down onto the mangrove. It's a 1 to, like, you know, every other block rise. So if I did it with just slabs, which I did over here, same thing here, I just had slabs. But the problem is, if you do that, then you have to spawn proof every other slab because you get top slabs and bottom slabs. So here I did it with pressure plates. Actually, I think I'm going to be able to take off these pressure plates for the sandstone ones because I think the light, I'm getting enough light from the lights in the walls down below. I'm going to have just enough light, but I'm going to wait until everything's kind of more finalized and finished before I do that, since I don't want to take off these pressure plates and then move like the lights to a block, not remember that I've done that, and then have a creeper spawn up here. That could be bad. But yeah, so here we got around the spawning problem by just having like essentially a stair and a slab, or a stair and a bottom slab, and a stair and a bottom slab, which is the same, overall descent ratio, but it kind of gives a kind of an interesting textured, uneven design, which is, I was worried it's going to look bad, but actually looks fine in the context. But here, because I really want to have this, clean geometric triangle, because that's closer to what the original church looked like for the front. It has this kind of figured trim around the front like that, which I can't really do on the bottom, but I can at least do there. So I really wanted to pull that element because I think it looks really good here. So I didn't want to have that be uneven and ragged. So that one just had to have the same thing go on, except pressure plates to make everything even at the very top, because at least from the angles I could see it, it looked like the roof was at like a less steep angle than the roof below it. I don't know if that's actually the case. It may have been my eyes playing tricks on me, but I went with it for the build here. The problem, of course, that creates is that, I have bottom slabs here and then top slabs. So, try to kind of, and the problem for evenness is that you can't actually place pressure plates on bottom slabs. Right, so, pressure plates to prevent spawns, bottom slabs, but I can't put pressure plates on even for aesthetic purposes, so I just, decided to kind of go with an alternating sequence of bricks and plain stone slabs with the idea that like the pressure plates will kind of give enough of a line to make it kind of look more like a brick than a plain, stone slab. I think at one point I looked at alternating between stone and like polished andesite, since polished andesite kind of has the same kind of detail as, or has like, it's about the same color as stone, but it has like a little trim around the edge that was kind of similar to what stone looked like with the pressure plates on top, but I didn't go with that. I don't remember if it was that it looked wrong in some other way, or if it was just that it didn't look enough better to justify in my mind tearing out the roof and redoing it. Because of course you're only going to see the roof if you're flying in from the top, and like the pattern of of having different textures on different parts of the roof is not actually that unattractive, anyways. It kind of looks, to a degree, it looks more decorated than inconsistent. So we're just gonna leave it with that. Okay, that one has to come over that way. We need to meet up with the pillar here at the very least to make things kind of feel supported and solid. And I think we can go with a wall here. And we're probably going to have to go back to granite because otherwise we'll get, at that point, because otherwise the wall is going to be weird. And then I think maybe here, we start doing arches kind of similar to what we have down below. Probably actually have to go even further out than that. Do we do that? Yeah, we should. Probably can go up from there, but we'll see what the attic looks like. Alright. Yay, pick up the torch. I didn't have to go diving for it, even though there's no reason to do that. But I can't help myself, because I can't let even like a torch go and despawn. It's like, no, I have to go pick it up. Okay. And I think that will do, and I don't think there's any reason why we're going to need to redo that except for aesthetics if we want like a different look at that point, which might happen, but we don't need that right now. Okay. All right, and so if we're going to do arches, how many blocks we have here? We start there. That is 18. So then if we see 18, so that if we include the middles, that's a 5-block gap, right? So, well, no, it's gonna be a 5, 6, 5, right? So it could be, see if we can do 6, 6, 6. Yeah, so 5, 6, 5. Okay. And if we go there, then we would get, we just have itself be 4, 6, 4. If we expand it, be 5, 4, 5. I think I'd rather have the widest arch in the middle, or we just don't have arches here and just have an arch in the middle. Which, yeah, let's do that. Okay, proportions for the arches we've got so far are 3, 4, 5, 6 tall, or it's actually just like 6 by 6. Kind of, well, it's 4 by 6 for the interior portion. All right. So if we're going up the very center, that's 11 blocks. Okay, so let's drop that down maybe to 8. If we go 8 tall, then, well, if we do 9 tall, then we can do like 6 wide, or 6 wide gap. So then we would have there, and then we'd start there. And then we have to figure out what we want to do in this slot, which now that's too wide means just fill it up with a wall. All right, and so then we need probably could be at least 4 there. And then we're gonna go, let's see if we can get this to work the first try, or something approximately good enough. All right, and then I think we just, for variety, went with plain granite there. And then we had stairs. And then probably do another thing of stairs. And then from there, we'll probably do some slabs. We might have enough. We did slabs, no, I think we just solid blocks here. Alright, so how good of an arch is that making? Not very good. I think this needs to be... no, that's not quite right, I think. Do we go... I think we do slab there. Instead of stairs. Actually, it'd be like... solid and slab. I think we need that to be back into a wall. That works. I think that works pretty well. Alright, let's go with that. Means we don't really necessarily need the polished granite there. Unless we're gonna have that kind of be the supporting line there, but need to kind of figure out how that's going to work. And we're going to deal with the gap. I'm just going to place blocks and see how it looks. Then we'll adjust from here once we see what looks terrible. Or if not terrible, it's just boring. Let's see. We're kind of going with the notion this is just added on later. this is all going to be filled in, and then we can decide to deal with the gaps in a bit. Okay. So I think that needs to be, well, it needs to be wall the way up, or make this all solid. I'm inclined to make this all solid because it's reading too close to that. So next to it, it looks like that's kind of supposed to be an extension of that, which, like, it's basically supposed to be related, and it's not really related. So I think here, even though it's going to be a big mass of solid blocks, maybe we'll go with just regular. Let's just try that real quick. Put in some regular granite. I think it looks better. Yeah, let's do that. And I think for that we can go all the way to the top. Okay, that's starting to look decent. Maybe we can take out that. Yeah, I think so. All right, so then if we do that, we don't need that block. Okay, I think that, well, now that really does look like that's pulling in from there, so yeah, it looks bad now. All right, let's try taking this out and replacing it with solid all the way down. Yeah, I kind of missed the extra little bit of a detail there, but overall it looks better, I think. Okay, we should have 3, and then we're misaligned, aren't we? Yeah, we're a block off. All right, we're 2 blocks off. Well, that's fine. Let's see if we can fix that without causing too much damage. Kind of our options are either to move everything over, but I kind of don't want to do that because if we just move everything over a block, then the walls around become kind of wide. I kind of like the thickness we have there as being about, well, I'm sure or so we say like, but I think the thickness we have there is about as much as I'm willing to tolerate. It's probably a better way to describe that. Solid. Any more is going to feel like I need to do something with that space, and I don't have any ideas. So I just feel like I'm going to be in a better position if that's like just narrower. I'm going to have to come up with as many brilliant ideas to do with the, like, decorate the space. I don't know if I have enough left at this point. All right. Now I think the arch is going to be a little too curvy in the middle at this point now, so I think I'm gonna, let's see how many, let's just start with 3 blocks. Let's see if this works. I think I probably need the 4th. Does that work? Maybe this could be a stair. It's looking really bad now. Although if we do the stair there, is that really that bad? I think we need to even go further. Maybe a stair there, and then no, we need to start coming down at this point. That's just weird. So maybe a stair there. That far out, and then maybe go with a wall there. I think we need the middle to be wider. That's looking promising. Yeah, maybe that. If we mirror it, will look good. And then that feels like it needs to be connected. So that doesn't feel like it's kind of now it feels like it works a little better, I think. All right. We got 4 up over. And then stair, stair. And then we got a block and a slab. Am I off by 1? I'm off by 1. We're off by 1 there. Okay. All right, let's try this again. Then solid block goes above that. And there, and then we just clean up the extra blocks. Scaffold up some more. let's go back and remember how we did it on the other side. That. All right. All. Yeah, I think that looks good. Okay, and then for the edges, we probably just take that all the way up. There's no reason not to, I think. I think an arch like this probably would have a pretty substantial support there. All right, and then at some point in the future, so we've got a missing block there. At some point in the future, we'll fill in the slabs. We can like put in slabs to fill in the gap there, which we'll need to do just to make it feel, some point in the future. No. That's why this never gets finished. We do that now. We do that now. The future is now. this is where I really try to make sure I've got all the pressure plates back in place. I think we're good. Hope we're good. I see a creeper hanging on top of my roof. I'll know that we're not good. Oops. Yeah. Hey, that just reset. If that just reset, oh no, it would have been reset. Wrong, wouldn't it? What toggle would set, which is not what I want. Alright, yeah. Going to need to be careful about that. Or I just find some way to power those blocks permanently. Like, can I sneak in some levers that no one's gonna see? And we'll see how much of an issue that becomes in the future. Alright, so that is nice and solid. We probably need to put in some decorations there, like just, the simple thing we're doing on the outside with like, fog lights and bamboo trapdoors, so we can continue that motif. Maybe use like jungle trapdoors, since jungle is pretty close to granite in value and color. That would be interesting. But I don't think I want to decorate that right now. Alright, what else have we got? This is all enclosed. Let's go to the viewing spot. Close enough. So that looks a little more finished, I think. I think we need sconces. I think we need sconces with lanterns. That's what we need up there. Okay. Okay. All right. All right, then maybe I think we'll put the second one above the second stair. I think I probably want down the first stair, actually. And then maybe one right above the slab. Not too close. give that a try. I mean, that's... I think the stairs ones have to come down one, because that just looks awkward now. Yeah, it looks better. All right. Just checking for drop blocks because I just can't not do that. Even though, I mean, well, I mean, technically, grants renewables just not really strongly renewables. Like, it looks pretty good, I think. From here, shaders might give a little bit of a. I mean, it's gonna be actually might be a little bright with shaders, but yeah. It's like maybe a little too lit, but. But we'll have to see how that looks once this corner is more in place. Because I think that's kind of, you know, when I move the map area off inside, that actually might be, at that point, that might end up being looking too lit. So I'm going to go and take out the middle lanterns, but we'll see. Let's check from the cocoa bean farm. And it looks fine. Shaders. Man, it looks good from there. So. But yeah, so we have the thumbnail position and yeah, it's fine. It is a little bright in there, but it should probably be fine once everything else is in place. Okay. But that kind of looks solid and in place. Over here, that view's decent. From down to the floor. I think we need to fill in the bottom there with some supporting structure. So let's do that next. Maybe, you know, just continue the arch motif, which would be the simplest thing to do across, and then See if we did that. I think that would look good. And then we'll start to figure out what we're going to do with the shulker unloader and item elevator, which will probably ends up getting pushed off into this corner. That's what I've been thinking. So we should have enough space here to put shove it in there and make it work. See, this one is actually the current machine we have for that's too wide, but I think the one in the Amazing Games World download is narrow enough we can probably get away with it, and we can also just push it in a couple of blocks if we need to. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks, and I think we've only got 3 blocks of space, so we can just do this whole thing so we just know. Instead of having the input chest be even, it would be like pushed out 1 or 2 blocks, which would be fine. So I think that's going to work fine. Okay, so what do we want to do? We could do the bottom arches, which would probably be the default answer if we can't come up with something else. Or I think maybe what I want to do at this point is fill in the corner. Make it look kind of like this, except the thing is here we're going to have to bring this whole thing in 2 blocks. So I'm going to tear all this out, move it 2 blocks forward, tear all this out, or most of this out, and shave off this, move this over 1 block, and then move this over 1 block. I'll need to do that to make these match. But if I want to make a match, I'm just actually, at this point, kind of thinking maybe I can get away with them not matching by just having, so it's originally planned to have like kind of a dock, like a loading dock area. So if I add enough detail around here, no one's going to notice that they're a couple blocks offset. It's kind of one of those funny things where it's only if it's a little off that's a problem. If it's very off, it looks intentional. If it's exactly the same, it looks fine. But if it's like 1 or 2 blocks off, it can like just look weird. So let's at least move that sugar box inside. I don't have any place to put this stuff right now, so we'll just kind of pile it. And then that one has got a bunch of crap in there that I need to go and put somewhere else. I'm going to just dump it all over there, I think. Let's grab a shulker. I'll just load it into a shulker box and then let it be tomorrow's problem. Never quite sure what to do with non-stackables. Although the axe I should really just throw away. All right. So the front is a lot cleaner now, which is nice. I'm going to deal with that eventually. I kind of want to have this 4 wide entryway go all the way out, but I need to move. Right now, this is my way down to the end portal. So I don't really need it to be out here. I can actually, and also kind of move it over a block. I'm thinking like actually just make it a iron trap door and putting a button there. Be close enough and to looking like the walkway that it won't be too out of place looking, and maybe just have another one on the other side for symmetry. But the beacon's gonna have to move because this is it's either move it or add another one on the other side of the location, which I mean I could do, but I kind of don't like the beacon here in any case. Even if it was like mirrored and symmetrical, I think it would look. Just don't really like the look of it anymore. So. It was nice having aesthetically kind of felt nice to have the beacon directly centered underneath the end portal. I just kind of liked it, but that was a different time, so now I'd have to move. Well, I couldn't actually get it centered because I have to have the end portal is 3 blocks by 3 blocks, and this is an even width build, so nothing I would do could make that work nicely. Something would be off, so just need to not even try. But yeah, so moving the portal or moving the beacon's not a problem. They don't need to be that deep anymore either. That was just kind of that deep so that with the idea that I have a good coverage for excavations for doing haste stuff. But you know, it's not really that much of an improvement when you're in deep slate, and then even when you're just doing like stone, where it's insta-mine if you have haste 2 and a efficiency diamond pickaxe. That's really only beneficial if you're clearing out a large volume of material. So then the question is, if I just want to have like haste and or speed and regeneration, do I really need to go that deep? And it's like, it might be nice, but not really necessary, I don't think. So I'll probably not do that. But yeah, so let me see if I can close off this wall at least. That side's the right depth. I think we're just doing on this side, we just got the too wide, and then the window, a good gap and too wide in the window, and then a gap, although I could have just, don't think I have a lot of good options here. I'll probably end up moving that as well, so let's not use that as a guide. We'll just figure out what we want to do here, and then we'll, hopefully that will be a better result than what we had on the other side. We'll just decide we like that better and we want to continue on that side as well. Alright, so for now, we're just going to continue that. That's all andesite. All right. We're coming over there. If we are, then we don't need those. Probably do andesite there eventually. Okay. Because we're building new things, let's just sleep. Because new structures like that are not spawn proof, and I have done a pretty decent job spawn proofing or torching up the caves underneath. So even though the forest around is not spawn proofed that much, the torching of the caves underneath makes this area pretty dangerous at night. If there's anything that's not spawn proof, because then it's gonna end up being very likely to result in a mob spawn. Okay, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. Let's get into window materials. And I already have smooth stone. I got too much of it. Let's unload some of that. Now we need some glass panes. We need some black stained glass panes, which we're out of almost. So some more of those. That's fine. Okay. And then for the motif, we need a couple of those for the corners. All right. So I think I'm going to say that that's going to be solid. Maybe. Then we have 8, which means 4. With 2 spaces there, which means we're going to be solid down to there. Solid to there. If we do that, then I think it's better to do that because the exterior is going to look more even this way, I think. Okay. All right, and then walls are up there. Glass. Oops, wrong location for that. That one just went flying. Okay. Probably gonna add a door on the other side there, maybe. It's gonna come down to whether I feel like I need access on this side. I mean, right now that's a good idea, but am I gonna continue to need access on that side. I don't know. Okay. So that part looks good. I think for the rest we can just go with a solid wall. And now we need to figure out if I want to have, so on this other side, I went with just mangrove all the way down. And then at the edge there I put in red nether brick to give a kind of a shading effect. But I don't, the shading effect's working quite as well as I like because I can't make it line up with the roof because it's, you know, slabs, so half blocks. So I might just take that out, but yeah, I think though that the taking that out, the mangrove works pretty well there. So I'll probably just go with that for now. I did just spend a good deal of time. Oh, no. Where'd the missing slab go? Ah. No. Well. Mangroves are pain to deal with, so it's moderately upsetting when a block goes missing or even just a slab. Oh well, it is renewable, so I'm not gonna get too broken up about it, but I think we're done with all that stuff. All right. And then we're gonna need maybe probably less than that. And we still have a good deal of planks. All right. This might be enough to get that finished. Put up the scaffolding that I took down just a couple minutes ago. Because that's just the way I roll. All right, and then this is gonna go usually one beyond. Okay. Go with that for now. Alright, so we're gonna get this to come together. Alright, which means we want to go in here to there, maybe. And then we'll go there. Alright, which means we can't do the same arch configuration because we have to deal with the outdoors here. Unless we just have the arches to nowhere, which I don't want to do. So where are we meeting up? There. And then this joint's going to be interesting. I think we probably just bring the roof up. Which is, actually gives me access to this part of the roof, which is kind of nice. I'll have to go and see how that looks. But if we do this then, well, then we might be able to continue the arches in there without a lot of issues. Okay, it's all connected? I think so. How does this look? All right. I'm not sure I like the mangrove there, but as far as the wall position goes, I think that's working. So I'll probably switch that to granite at some point. Maybe continue and then figure out what we're gonna do with the trim there. Maybe just do some different idea for how to fill in that gap. But I mean, it's not terrible. And the inside, let's just finish that up real quick. Because we can take out the wall I was trying to build there. So maybe we can actually do the arch. It'd be nice. Don't have to make another design decision there. Just mirror what we have on the other side, because it looks pretty good on the other side. It'd be nice to do that again. It's nice we can just copy something that looks good instead of having to figure out something new every time. Alright, so we're just going to get rid of those, I think. Just to finish off the piece that was... We change our minds. Let's see... Let's go from right over this angle. Okay, and then we'll just deal with that next time when we start getting the arch. Let's just do a sweep for loose blocks. Alright, I think that's going to be good enough. Alright, so just one last look at the Vista. Sounds looking pretty good. Like I said, this is not great, so we need to add some stuff here, either change this to a different block or add some decorative elements so it doesn't like look quite so much like a big blob of one color. It's, yeah, I mean, this probably wouldn't be so bad if it was a different color than the roof, but having it be the same color as the roof is kind of actually detracting from that. If it was a different color, we might be able to get away with just being a big blob. But it looks like it's trying to join with that, which is doesn't look great. So I might check the reference and see if, because I'm pretty sure this was from the reference, having that same color there. And so let's double check to make sure I didn't misinterpret what we're seeing and there's a better idea I can pull from that. Otherwise, I will be deviating again from the reference since it's one of the areas where San Giorgio Maggiore is doing something that I can't easily replicate to make that work. So I'll just come up with my own thing again, which is fine. This is never going to be a faithful replica of that building anyways. Just because my needs are to fit this storage system, and that's the primary goal. Anything else is kind of secondary. We need to fit the storage system and then make it look good. And so normally if I'm flying in from this direction. So this is the angle that's most important. And, you know, it's honestly not terrible, but I think I may just try. See, a couple of things I can do would be to maybe just extending this out another block. I think we're actually out 2 blocks here because we have the trim. Ooh, I'm gonna fill that in. Alright, so we add a site for that. Let's just do that. One of the nice things, or I guess kind of nice things about streaming is that, or just having people watch you in general, is that it's harder to say, oh, I see a problem, I'm just going to let it be a problem. And then probably should get the diorite as well. It feels, I mean, and basically unless you're like deliberately trolling your audience, which, depending on the circumstances, can be a fine thing to do. But you hear the words come from your mouth and you realize that other people could possibly be looking at them or watching and listening and hearing you say that and seeing you do that, and you think, okay, maybe that isn't what I need to be doing here. Alright, I don't want to get to that. I think I'll just have to see how that looks. And we may end up having to go and reconfigure that corner a bit, but I mean, that's fine. Yeah, and that makes it versus that a little bit nicer, so that's fine. All right. But I think overall that looks pretty good. We made, I don't want to say good progress because, you know, it's been 2 hours and it doesn't feel like I've put down a whole lot of blocks, but these things do take time. Particularly when you're doing that design. You know, if I just had like a block for block design for this all ready to go, I'd just be placing blocks and you have fewer rework or less rework in fewer situations where you place a block and take it back out and place it again, take it back out again, place it again, take it back out. Alright, and so then this, with shaders, it does look a little bit bright. So probably the solution to that is to try to put in some more light here. So that'll be like a thing for this. Probably like to have a couple of light details like we have in front. Probably would just make that work fine. Probably that's what we'll do most likely. But next time, there's always one more thing to do, and unless it's a real niggly thing at the end, I'm just gonna put that off. At some point, you know, for like little things, we'll go through and just check them all out and get them all finished. But for now, I think we've made good progress. Still need to do the same thing on this side, but we have a guide from that side, so this should be fairly reasonable to do. And maybe we can, like, you know, we'll take out another brick there. Maybe we'll like work some of that back into design and the to kind of break up the monotony here. But otherwise, so looking pretty good at this point. We're almost done with the shell, I think. We need to do some stuff, more stuff in the interior, but should need more than a couple more sessions to have this thing more or less complete. So, or at least complete enough that we can wander. I can wander in and take a look and not feel like I have to apologize for bits and pieces not being in place. And of course, that doesn't include the fact that I really do want to extend the back out further, because the spire being kind of isolated by itself like that just doesn't feel right to me anymore. But that will come later. Oh, one more little thing to finish off. Yeah, use the elevator. Because that's just annoying to do. Just to finish that off. Okay. That looks good now. I think that's the last of the details I'm going to pull off, or I'm going to do for tonight. So, I will, if anybody actually ends up watching this VOD, thanks for watching, and hopefully I will see you next time.